Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to the Chupacabra Tutorials channel. I'm your host Larry, and today I'm going to be showing you how to optimize your Monster Hunter Wild settings so that it looks good and plays good, with higher FPS and all that good stuff. So we're going to pop into our settings, go to Options, then we're going to go over to our Graphics settings, and then we're going to walk through all these different settings. So we're going to be making a custom graphics profile in here today. And you're going to want to leave things like upscaling mode to balanced and make sure that your upscaling matches whatever brand of graphics cards you have. I did just try, for the sake of testing, to disable upscaling, and for whatever reason that causes my game to crash. So be careful about doing that, that might happen. So kind of going down through here, if you can tweak these, I would leave upscaling sharpness and render scaling to whatever it is right now. But you can turn your anti-aliasing off if you've turned your upscaling mode off as well. And then after that, you can go down here and ray tracing. I would probably turn this on if you have it, just because it's nice to have. If you find that your game is chugging a lot, you can try it without. I'm going to leave that back at high, just for the sake of, because I can. Texture quality, as far as like optimal settings goes, you can probably leave this high, or if you're finding that you need to, you could tweak it down to low, but high or medium, the texture should be fine for a lot of different machines that meet the basic requirements to play this game. For texture filtering, I would leave that on high as well. But again, this is sort of a feel out your system kind of deal. Knocking most of your settings down to a medium or a low medium would not be the worst way to go about this, especially for things like texture. It will make things in the background, as you can see in this preview, look a little bit worse, but not horrifically noticeable if you're running around and like looking at things and not like going within 2 inches up to your face. Should be fine. Mesh quality, I would leave that at a medium. Fur quality, I would also put that down to low, because there's going to be a lot of fur in this game, because a lot of the animals are furry, so that's just something that'll keep you sane. On the next page, we're going to go to sky cloud quality. I would leave that to low. That's going to always be kind of rendered in the background in the skybox, so that'll affect your FPS. Grass and tree quality, I would throw that down to a low. Grass and tree sway, you could probably leave that turned on. I don't think that's going to change your FPS too badly. And then wind simulation quality, I'd turn that down to a low as well. I'm in the game already, so I can't really adjust these settings, but you can turn down surface quality and sand/snow quality down to low as well. For water effects, I would disable this to save on some rendering power, just because that can hork your GPU on certain maps that have a lot of different water effects going on in the background and during the fight. Shadow quality. Shadows are always something that can affect things that are going on around you and have always been a source of lag in a lot of different games. I would turn that down to medium or low. You could probably get away with medium, but low will definitely help a lot. Render distance, I would leave that at high, just so you can kind of see everything. Shadow distance, I would leave that down to near. I guess it's not low, it's near, just to mess with me a little bit. Ambient light quality, from some of the different videos that I've been watching and testing around myself, this doesn't seem to change much, but you could turn that down to medium. Contact shadows, you can just disable this. These are fancier shadows that kind of go over different objects. This one is pretty noticeable. I would not blame you if you left this turned on, because this makes things look a lot nicer when you have this turned on, but you can disable this if you're having issues on an older machine. And then ambient occlusion, you can turn that down to a medium. Mine's already on a medium, so I'm just going to leave it there. Then per page 3, bloom, you can leave that on high. Motion blur, I just turn motion blur off because it gives me a headache. You can also turn that off. The vignette effect doesn't seem to cause a terrible lot of lag, but you can turn that off just to be sure you get the most out of your settings. If you've got your ray tracing turned off, you can turn off your screen space reflections as well. Quadruple S scattering. This one I would leave on. This doesn't seem to have a huge change on your FPS. Depth of field, you can probably leave this on. That just makes things look nice as it like focuses in on stuff that's close up. Volumetric fog, I would turn this down to low. Then variable rate shading, you can turn that to balanced. Some other stuff that might help your FPS is changing to make sure that you don't have a frame rate cap. You could potentially set that to unlimited if you'd like, either by tweaking the drag slider here or setting this to uncapped. That just disables the frame rate limit entirely. I would probably, knowing Monster Hunter games and having had problems with previous games in the past, I would probably leave the frame rate cap on and then set it at something high, like 120 or like 90, depending on the refresh rate of your monitor. Just that way it makes sure that things don't get choppy and stuttery, which has been known to happen. And then for VSync, I would probably turn VSync off, unless you really just hate screen tearing. That way it'll automatically not hork your frames because it's waiting to sync up the frames to prevent tearing issues. And for the most part, that's the main bulk of the settings that you'll want to change to optimize your Monster Hunter experience. I will go back through and write down all of these and put them in the video description below to make it easier to copy them if you want to use these or experiment with them. So until next time, I've been your host, Larry. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been a brief look at how to optimize Monster Hunter so that you can get the most out of Monster Hunter Wilds. I've been your host, Larry. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody, and have a good one.